No, you're in the John Fredericks Radio Network and the John Fredericks Radio app, and I am your Godzilla of the truth in America. Follow me on social media at JF Radio Show, live in Indy with the Indy gang. We've got Mike Gaskill. He's still on video. I think we still have him on.
Still here.
He's still here. We got Mike Gaskill. Talk about winners. We brought all the winners on at once. Gaskill, my warrior, Liz Brown. I can't wait to go to Fort Wayne. Liz, you invite me for a week. I'm going. I got to go to Fort Wayne for Liz.
You're invited.
Liz, our warrior.
Hoosier hospitality. You're invited.
It's Liz. There's no Hoosier. What? Don't be telling me about Hoosier hospitality after the debacle you guys put me through in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
I don't want to hear that word again.
Okay.
It's Indiana nice. You know, we come up here and you're so nice. And we're not like Washington, D.C., like you guys there at the White House. We're just Indiana nice. And then we get our ass kicked. No, we want winners, which I got three of them right here. Mike Gaskill, my favorite lieutenant governor in history of the galaxy, Micah Beckwith. He's a winner. He kicked their butts at that convention. I still love that story.
It's a great story.
I still love that story. It's like, well, this is not the way we do it here in Indiana. The governor picks the lieutenant governor.
And you know how it's a good story because now the establishment is trying to change the rules and make sure that never is allowed to happen again. They're trying to remove the lieutenant governor from the convention altogether. There's a bill that was just filed to do that.
Are you going to defeat that, or you got all the rhinos are going to vote?
Yeah, the rhinos will vote for it, but then we'll just primary the rhinos. To me, it's just smoking out the rats. That's what I'm. This whole for the last 10 years, I've been so frustrated in Indiana because we've had rhinos who are controlling a red state, a conservative state, and nobody's seen it. And so yesterday we saw it. Things like this bill to remove the lieutenant governor from the convention delegates. Those people who support that bill will see it. We will see full scale who is with the people or who's with the machine. And so I think it's a good thing. I'm glad that bill got filed because I want to see who's going to support it. So we know who to say these are not for the people. These Republican reps or senators are not for the people.
Liz Brown, Micah just said they go smoke out the rats. Isn't that what we did? In fact, you guys need to come to Washington D.C. I'm gonna you guys want to see some rats? I mean, like we got rats, and I'm not talking about the Democrats in the House. I'm talking about like this big, right? We got rats. We always in there trying to smoke them out, and but I got my cat, and he's already got two of them, two. But then when he gets one, then I got to take him to the vet to get the rabies thing. So it's like it's not a good cost benefit analysis on that thing. But Sammy's got two of them
too. I mean, we might have to get rabies shots after we deal with that building behind us there. So
yeah, smoke out the rats. Liz, what do you think about this? Did this vote smoke out the rats, Liz?
I've worked with some of these people for over 10 years. And I just trying to give them grace. I just don't think they understand. I feel like they don't look beyond Indiana and don't understand what was the point of this. It was something we could do legally, constitutionally, politically. And it's been done before. We're allowed to do it. And why do we do this? Why do we draw our congressional maps? And that's all it was, right? Just our congressional maps. Because we are affecting the power grid in DC. And I just couldn't wrap my head around. I can't tell you how many conversations I had with my colleagues who just didn't think what the reality would be. I told my friends, look, when Obamacare was passed, right, they rammed it through in DC. They broke the rules, rammed it through, and they knew they'd lose seats because of it. And they did. But they're like China. They play the long game because then they won the House back. Pelosi was out, then Pelosi was back in, right? They're okay with that because they realize the policy is more important. And then what have we seen since? You could never get rid of Obamacare, right? We don't do that. So she was willing to take hits, protect as many as she could, tell the others, look, you're going to take one for the team. We don't do that. And so I could not get my colleagues to understand so many bad things will happen if the Democrats take the House. This isn't like, oh, maybe the tax cuts will go. No, so many bad things. Forget about just Trump being impeached and then nothing ever gets done. No relief for the American taxpayer. It'll be permanent things that we can undo, like the Hyde Amendment. That's a real thing. They will use federal money to fund abortions. We have kept that at bay for almost 50 years. That's going to be gone. And they're like, well, if they work hard. And I'm thinking, you don't understand. It is beyond working hard. When you have George Soros secretly going down to prosecutor levels in counties to set up people, they're playing the long game. And we're just swatting away the flies at the top of the heap. It's slightly frustrating.
All right, let's get to the phone lines. The phones are ringing off the hook for the I'm calling it the Indy gang. Let's get to Coach Miyako on the West Coast, the old ball coach, baseball coach. Vince, good to have you. You're on with the Indy gang.
Thank you, John. Good morning to all of you. And looking at this whole Indiana mess from afar, no coincidence, California. I think there's some similarities here. I look at our California GOP and how wretched and old school it is, and I think I can kind of look at Indiana and see the same thing. Do you all think that Mike Pence played a big part in this redistricting going down the tubes?
Well, I don't know if Mike Pence, personally, I hadn't heard him making the phone calls. I know that obviously Mike and the president have their issues. I did hear that one of our other former governors, Mitch Daniels, was making the calls and making the rounds. Now, it's no secret that the establishment Indiana GOP, they don't like President Trump. I mean, they've never really liked. They're the Paul Ryans. They're the Mitt Romneys of Republicanism. And I think you're saying you've got the same thing in California as well in your Republican Party. So there's always been this animus towards Donald Trump and his style, right? They don't like the language he uses. They don't like his mean tweets, things like that. But I didn't hear specifically if Mike was making the calls. But I do know that Mitch Daniels, I've had that on good authority that he was making calls. So there's a coordinated effort from the establishment in Indiana to, I think, kind of push back on Trump. And I think the MAGA movement has seen something that our establishment, like what Liz was saying, the establishment Republicans just don't know the time we're living in. Yeah. They think we're living in the Tip O'Neill, Ronald Reagan days. Yes. Right. And that's not the time. True. Yeah, it's not the time we're living in. So what we see in the MAGA movement is, guys, this is a real and present evil and a threat to our entire future. And like Winston Churchill told Neville Chamberlain, you cannot negotiate with a tiger when your head is in its mouth. Yeah. Right? Like you just understand that our head is in the mouth of a tiger right now. And if we don't do something to stand up and fight, then we will lose the beautiful republic that God has given us.
Liz?
No, so you go back to the Tip O'Neill. I mean, that's how we function as a state Senate. I mean, I can tell you through the budget cycles, we respectfully listen to Democratic amendments and try to see, okay, because we represent the entire state, right? We're not going to deliberately burn down Democratic cities in terms of financial impact or their districts, because we're helping everyone. That's not the other side, right? The Democrats play the long game. They will literally hold the government in hostage and close it down and hurt people on food stamps, SNAP, TANF, all those benefits in order to win. We're on nice. I mean, maybe it's our Christian values. I don't know. We just think, well, we can't hurt people to win. They're willing to hurt everybody to win. And I don't want to be that, but we have to understand the days of pretending that we're working together with the Democratic Party, the day of pretending that they're willing to compromise and have bipartisan, I think that ship sailed, and it's definitely sailed in Indiana.
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you, it is a war, and there is no peace in a war until one side wins. Yeah. But if we keep fighting and we win this, then we follow the example of Abraham Lincoln. We put our arms around the other side that we defeated, let them know that we love them and that we want them to be hugely successful. And, we're about solving problems. The Democrats are about creating problems and blaming them on us. Yeah. And so that's the way you handle this.
And I just want to give a big prop props to both Liz and Mike here, because Mike, you did a great job yesterday when you gave your 30-minute close.
Yes.
And you highlighted what blue states are doing, what they've been doing. You had the board there that you were pointing to. It was fantastic. And I mean that. And Liz, your testimony was really, really solid too. So you guys I stood up in a really powerful way yesterday, and I just really appreciate you. But to Mike's point, Mike and Liz both, they're believers, they're Christians. Indiana, we have a lot of Christians in that state legislative building behind us. But here's the problem. They think when Jesus said in Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God, that means we have to always be peaceful people. That's not what it means. Peacemaking in a world full of evil means conflict with evil. How did we make peace in World War II? We killed a bunch of Nazis. We dropped an atomic bomb on Japan twice, right? Really not fun things to do, really awful things, a lot of death, a lot of fighting. But then when we conquered evil, put down that evil, then there was peace. And we said, to Mike's point, we put our arms around Japan. We said, we want to help you rebuild. We want to help you come into the new age. Now look at Japan, one of our strongest allies, one of the most prosperous places on earth, because we had to go to war first. And what I think a lot of these Christians behind us in this building think is, well, we're not allowed to go to war. We're not allowed to say mean things. We're not allowed to do the hard, we should never be mean to somebody. No, that's not godliness. That's actually the opposite. Exodus 15:3 says, the Lord is a warrior, Yahweh is his name. He goes to war to defeat evil because he loves the people that are being oppressed by that evil. So we should do the same thing. And I just don't think the Indiana Senate has gotten that memo.
Yeah.
Well,
I
think you guys are right. There's no doubt about it. Plus we have the Archangel. I'm a Catholic. So he goes to war a lot. Yeah. And you guys, I've got my suit and tie on, but those of you that know me, I'm no stranger to the what do they call it now? Body art? We used to call them tattoos back in the day. Like I'm completely
body art sound really gay, John.
I know.
Call it
I got tattoos like all over, right? So I got the Archangel Michelangelo's on there, among others. But that's not for this show.
And please don't show us. We don't want to see it.
We're not going to see it. Right. You can kind of see my arm. You can see a little bit there.
No, I said, please don't show us.
Don't show us. Okay. Show us. That's good. All right. Let's go to, and I go to Fort Wayne. If you ever invite me to the swimming pool out there,
no, that's a hard no for me.
That's a hard no. Let's go to, thanks, Coach Vince. I'll see you tomorrow on Godzilla Wins. Vince, just so you know, I just bet Georgia at 6-1 to win the whole thing. It's good odds.
There you go.
I had to last night, even after I told everybody never bet Atlanta. I went to bet a loser, got up a winner. It's all good. Let's get to Bud in Georgia, line 2. Bud, you're live. Vince, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
First of all, go Fort Wayne Comets. Are they even still around? I don't even know. I listened to them like 50 years ago.
What are they, a soccer team?
But I won't be supporting them anymore, just so you know. Okay, I'd like to know when are y'all going to remember that?
Go ahead, Bud. Sorry.
Am I on?
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
I want to know when you Republicans there, are going to remember that there were 4 years of open borders and all the atrocities that were committed because of the Democrats. You guys never speak about it. You never bring it up. You never ask them point blank why they left the border wide open for votes, which is exactly what they did. You should be pounding them about that, especially because if the grandfather or the granddaughter guy in your state really cares about his granddaughter, he would have voted yes, because do you not think for 1 minute if the Democrats got total control again, they would not reopen that border? And frankly, for me as a citizen who saw all the carnage with women and children as young as 4 being gang raped, tortured, and murdered, why in the world, and yeah, your comms department is not very good, why in the world do you guys not ever bring this up? You should be talking about it every day. I don't get it.
Well, Gaskell brought it up in his speech yesterday, Mike.
Yeah, and so did Garden. And let me say, our comms team.
In fact, Garden banged his fist.
Yeah.
That kind of shook
sure
up
did.
there, didn't he?
But our comms team is great, but we don't use them effectively as we should. And they stood up. They were great for me in this process. They were awesome. But we did talk about that both privately and publicly. And some folks just use different criteria to get to the no. It's hard to go against your leadership. I mean, I stood there and gave that speech, and my son told people, it's like my dad is like Mr. Rogers, and I've never heard him yell before. And I did it about
affirm that.
I did it about 2 feet from my pro tem.
It was awesome. I loved it. I was like, where's this guy been? This is amazing.
What about when Garden yesterday like banged his fist on that thing? That woke me right up, and he was right in front of your speaker.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was
for your listeners that may not have heard it. I could see where he was going. I know Chris Garden, and he says, you see him starting to get a little red faced. You see those chest muscles flex the Marine. And he said, "You say this is partisan?" And then he paused. I was like, I know exactly what he's going to say. The fist goes down, and he says, "You're damn right, it's partisan." I don't have the Marine voice that he does, but any drill sergeant would have been shaking in his boots to hear when Chris Garden speaks, people listen.
That's true. I mean, it was an amazing speech. I tweeted about it in mid speech. I'm like, this is like a Churchill speech that we've been desperately needing for years, and one of the best speeches I've ever heard on any chamber floor. And so I was I told him afterwards, I was, man, that was awesome. And I think that's the type of leadership that Indiana has the potential to be, right? We could be that for the nation, that Chris Garton type passion. I see it in Liz. I see it in guys like Mike Gaskell. I see it so many places. It's just, we've got some of the gatekeepers, some of the really old guard. And when I mean old, I mean very old. And they've been here for years. There's one senator who's been in office since I was 11 years old. And I'm sorry. It's like, thank you for serving. At one point he was a conservative. I think he's just now out of touch. He just needs to move on. And I mean, he barely got there yesterday because he was in the hospital. I mean, Lord, I pray this doesn't happen, but I'm thinking, I don't think you're gonna make it to next year. And he's running again next year. And I'm just thinking to myself, these people are so out of touch. They think this is their chair. They think they own it. And then when the people stand up and say, we think it's time for new leadership, they get super offended, they get defensive, and then they start attacking. And that's kind of what's happening. And so there's a lot of division within the Republican Party right now. But I want to be clear, it's not the grassroots conservative MAGA movement that caused it. This is the establishment that will not move into the future of where Donald Trump is leading our nation and our party.
And let's be quite honest, that MAGA movement is what led us to increase our supermajorities. I grew up in Anderson, Indiana, a town that once had 35,000 General Motors employees. And there was talk back before I was born at one time of possibly even moving General Motors headquarters to Anderson, Indiana. Today we have 0. And those folks, I know them. They're in my community, the retirees. And now that they're not brainwashed by their unions time after time, they started listening to our message. Trump got them to listen. I can't tell you how many of them come to me and look over their shoulder and say, you know what? I'm voting for Trump. I heard it in 16.
And I know, Jack.
20.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And so we're going to lose that if we don't stand up and fight. Those people are looking for a fighter to stand up for the common man, and the establishment Republican Party does, as Micah so eloquently said, they don't support that.
Well, we got 19 fighters, and we've smoked out. What'd you say? Smoked the rats out. I love that line. I'm going to steal that line.
I mean, that's a thing, right?
Can I make one more comment?
I don't have rats at my house, and I
no. Like in Washington,
praise the Lord, I never do.
In Washington D.C., when they finally try to get rid of the rats, there's all these rat holes in the park. Like I live across the street from a park. The rats come out at night. They're like cats, right? That's why I got to bring my cat out in the back, get him out of there. But they'll smoke them out. So they'll put these huge smoke machines in. They'll pump it into the rat hole, and it's called smoking them out.
But did they kill them or just re-release them? Like
no, they killed them, but then
that seems like what a Democrat would do.
Rats. You know what they do? They multiply.
Yeah, we'll just put them in another home.
Yeah.
No, they
send them to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah. One time in Nashville, when I lived there, we had a rat problem. Tyler, hold this a second. So I love telling the story. We had a big rat problem in Nashville. So this is back before Nashville was like communist. So they decided to bring in these cats. They call them the cat brigade. So they let them in this areas of town, and they were all spayed and all that, but they were trained to kill rats, and they brought like thousands in, and it cleaned up the city in like 2 months. And then the problem was
the cats.
Find them.
Then you had to bring in a bunch of dogs, and then you had a dog problem.
And they couldn't find the cats.
Yeah, that seems
so like half the cats they couldn't find them. So the cats just were in alleys, and so that then became a cat problem. But you would walk down the street in the morning, and you would see scattered on the road like half-eaten rats. Like you'd see a head, a tail. It's like no rat scattered all over the street because the cats had come out at night. They're their natural predator, and they capture them and eat them. And there was always saying, don't feed the cats; they're eating the rats. But in Washington D.C., they don't do that; they smoke them out. So rats, redskins. That's what I'm for. Thank you guys for being with us. Want to thank the Indy gang. Want to thank the courageous Mike Gaskill for leading the fight and for that great speech yesterday. Micah Beckwith, our leader, Lieutenant Governor. Governor Braun also isn't here. Led the fight too. He's a tough guy. And I want to thank the governor and my personal favorite warrior of all time, Liz Brown. I'm going to Fort Wayne. I love this woman. She's the best. And so we're going to go to Fort Wayne, be sure that she wins that primary and gets reelected. I want to thank everybody for being with us. I've been in Indy 2 weeks. Nice enough little town you got here. I'm psyched you said it with a straight face. I'm betting against the Colts. Don't you have, Jeff? Don't you have a grandfather quarterback in your team? He's a grandfather.
Yeah. Phillip Rivers.
Go Colts.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
We're a college football team.
That's fitting for what happened.
Yeah.
Fitting for what happened. Phillip Rivers, 50 years old grandfather, is now.
I think his son is older than the backup quarterback, I believe. Isn't that correct?
He's got like 19 children or something.
Oh my God.
He went to high school with Bernie.
I'm gonna tell my husband he was a high school.
He's got a lot of
We have a second
kids.
career.
All right, we gotta go. Screw the Colts. We gotta go.
You can't say that.
Screw them.
No.
We reject that.
No,
Screw
do
the
not
Colts.
punish Indiana teams. That is not.
Why not?
That's not nice.
Are
That's
you
not Indiana
What are
nice?
you, a communist?
That's not
Washington,
nice.
D.C.
I'm not DC. I am definitely not DC.
I just realized John, unfortunately, his communism's coming out here.
I'm the MAGA Mandami. I told you that.
Know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw the Colts.
We're out of this bus now.
Tomorrow, coming up, Michael Patrick Leahy. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., Killer Carl Show. Don't want to miss that. And then 9 a.m. to 11, Godzilla wins. I got nothing for you guys but winners. But now I've never made a prop bet in my life. But now I've got a prop bet consultant right here, Jeff. Jeff, you're going to give me a little pointers tomorrow on my show. I'm going to shock the panel when I have a prop bet from Jeff tomorrow. He just hit a 6-for-6 parlay, hit a 7-for-7 parlay. What, first week of the season? Week 4. This guy's on fire. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11. Godzilla wins. I'll be back in Washington, D.C. Screw the Colts. You guys have a great weekend, and we will see you tomorrow. Michael Patrick Leahy next.